What it do, what the business is. Word on the street, Chris known to handle it. Get your mind right. Let me talk to him. Get your mind right. Let me talk to him. It's your boy Chris Moore, man. We back on here, man. We're doing some sessions that I do outside of the interviews. So building this side of the channel up, and I would greatly appreciate your support. Just like, subscribe, share. Just that easy. Make sure you do that. I am the coolest motherfunker on the planet. Shouts out to Outcast. One of the greatest songs that they made was Bombs Over Baghdad. We don't have to argue right now. Argue with yourself in the comments, please. But today I watched 2 games and they kind of disturbed me on multiple levels. One would be the Cleveland Browns versus the Tennessee Titans. And the other game that I'm from Atlanta, so I'm sure Falcons fans are quite irritated, quite unsure about how everything has just unfolded and unraveled down there. One thing about life, we always say this thing that life be lifing. And I remember being 18 when I got my first job. I was excited, getting paid, ain't got no real bills, only had a cell phone bill. But I got written up a couple of times. I got written up for being late. I'm not an early morning person. At this point, I had to be at work at like 8 o'clock, but I live right down the street. So, I was just holding the bed hostage. Like, I'll get up at 7:15, get ready, run down the street, and it's all good. But it wasn't all good. I ended up being late a couple of times, got written up a couple of times. And I remember on my last write-up, the manager said, Chris, if you're late again, don't worry about coming back. And just like that, being late was a fireable offense in his eyes. Fast forward into the today of things, and one thing that I saw was a fireable offense was by the Cleveland Browns coach Kevin Stefanski. And what he did was coaching malpractice. So let's talk about what happened. Let's get into the details a little bit. The Browns were actually winning this game. They fought their way back. Shedeur Sanders had a crazy game, 3 touchdowns, passing, ran for one interception, threw for over 300 yards. But here's the thing. On the last drive of the game, Shedeur Sanders gets a touchdown. That's 6 points. They need 2 points to tie the game. What does Coach Stefanski do? He pulls Shedeur Sanders to the sideline. Hey, sit over here. I'm going to run this Wildcat. I'm going to run this play right here. It's going to get us the 2 points that we need so we can tie this game. What you did was wrong because they're in a moment right now where they're not fighting for anything but pride. One of the other things that they're fighting for is to see who their quarterback is for the future. Clearly, it's not Dylan Gabriel. However, Deshaun Watson has been cleared to practice. So do you bring Deshaun Watson back? Which reports say that he will be back next year. Do you see what you have in Shedeur? Because is Deshaun just going to be a backup? Or do we really have enough talent in Shedeur Sanders to say, let's go for it? We rhyme with Shedeur. Is it legendary time or no? But the amazing thing is, and this is why we love football, it's the moments. It's these defining plays. It's these hero moments. But to take your quarterback off the field to run the Wildcat offense just didn't make sense. I'm pretty sure if you just panned the crowd and put the camera on their faces, I'm pretty sure a lot of them were confused and staring at the field like, y'all really going to take the ball out of Shedeur's hands? He just scored a touchdown. Why wouldn't he be able to score another 2 points? I don't care what the fancy analytics look like. I don't care about what you have on your play chart. Analytics cannot make up for passion, heart, drive, intangibles. Analytics also don't show you who's a hater. And clearly the coach is a hater. You don't take the ball out of your quarterback's hands in the most important moment of the game. Not when he's the one that got you here. Not when he's the one that's earned the belief of the team. The Cleveland Browns were not playing like this until Shedeur became the quarterback. This team has been playing lights out. Everyone has stepped up. There's an energy. There's an energy that's in the building now. There's a certain moxie, if you will. That's what they like to use for the quarterbacks. But I'm just going down the line here. Josh Allen, would he be on the sideline during this 2-point conversion attempt? Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, Pat Mahomes. I mean, any quarterback that you can think of. Matt Stafford, are you taking them off the field after just scoring a touchdown and you're trying to get a 2-point conversion? This was insecurity at its peak, designed as strategy. There are some coaches who love control, a lot of ego involved. The Wildcat is a play that allows the coach to feel like they made the moment, not like they made the quarterback. A great coach understands moments belong to players. Here's a deeper reason why this is a fireable offense. You just told the locker room, I don't fully trust our quarterback. That in itself is poison. You cannot send the message of, I don't trust our quarterback. But the gag is everybody knows that you don't like Shedeur. And that's okay. That's okay you don't like your quarterback. You didn't pick him because you're not good enough of a coach to determine who is picked. You have a general manager, Andrew Berry, who picked Shedeur Sanders. But that's another conversation. I mean, but going back to the main point, I digress. Every offensive player knows it. Every offensive lineman saw it. Every player on defense felt it. You pulled your quarterback off the field after scoring a touchdown because you think you're the wise guy. I got you. I got them. They're not gonna see this coming. It ain't like I've done this every week. Sir, you have. You've done this 3 weeks in a row. You've run this Wildcat. But this ain't the time for the Wildcat. The Wildcat is cool when it's early in the game and nobody's expecting it. But to go out there for a 2-point conversion attempt and you try the Wildcat, they know what's coming at that point. I know what you're doing. It's like my kid when he's trying to hide the fact that he's eating candy. Bro, I see the candy wrapper on the floor next to you. You would have done better just by picking up the candy, eating it, throwing the candy away. I wouldn't even know it. Here's the other thing. Kevin Stefanski always talked about, he wants to develop the quarterback. Cool. If you want to develop the quarterback, cool. Got no problem with it. I do have a problem though when you're consistently inconsistent. And what I mean by that is that you took the time to make sure Dylan Gabriel had all the snaps during practice. Shedeur doesn't get none because he's a rookie quarterback. Dylan Gabriel is a quarterback, a rookie quarterback. And you said it out your mouth that you want him to have all the snaps available to him. But when it comes game time, when Shedeur is in the game, you run a Wildcat. During the time that Dylan Gabriel was the quarterback, there was never a Wildcat. You never pulled this play out the hat. You never pulled this play on the call sheet. You never lined the team up and said, hey, let's go execute the Wildcat. The other gag is your team wasn't down in the red zone enough to even do the Wildcat because your quarterback was inefficient. The thing you have to remember, you just can't artificially build a franchise quarterback. You have to let those moments build him. You have to sit down and watch someone else take those moments to grow in those moments. Because what you did was rob him of a development. You robbed him of development time. You derived him. You took away experience from him. You're the coach. That's on you. And that's a problem. Last but not least, it shows ego. Growing up at church, I always heard pride comes before the fall. It's in the Bible somewhere. Trust me. You can Google it. Trust me. But the thing about pride and that this ego, the thing when coaches feel that their design, there are some coaches who feel that their plays, their system is the star. They feel like this is the thing that made them successful, but not acknowledging that sometimes it's also the player. Tom Brady and Bill Belichick had a great system. Here's the thing. Let's look into it a little bit deeper. Josh McDaniels, great system for a quarterback. Not that good of a head coach. Bill Belichick, great defensive system, but that system isn't great until you get the right players in there. We can look to Pat Mahomes. Yeah, the system is great, but he doesn't have players in the system to showcase his greatness. As great as he is, he still needs help right now. At the time of this recording, Houston Texans are beating the Chiefs 17-10. The Chiefs are known for years have been known for their dynamic offense. But right now, there's some players who are inefficient in that system right now. So there's a time that they have to upgrade. But as a coach, you can't allow your ego to just run things. You can't preach trust all week, then call a play that screams that I don't trust you. Let me say this clearly. If you don't trust your quarterback in the defining moment, he shouldn't be your quarterback. And if he is your quarterback, then you shouldn't be the coach. Those are the rules. Going back to my manager at my first job, sometimes the consequences are simple. Being late was a fireable offense. Taking the ball out of your quarterback's hands, it's a fireable offense as well. Speaking about fireable offenses, a lot of Falcons fans are offended that they had to sit through and watch the Falcons quit today. They quit. The final score was 37-9. The Seattle Seahawks beat the Atlanta Falcons 37-9. Now, when you see that score, you would think, man, the game really got away for them. Maybe the Seattle Seahawks went up early and the Falcons just couldn't keep up. At halftime, the score was 6-6. Yes, 6-6, which means that 31 points were scored by the Seattle Seahawks in the second half. 17 in the third, 14 in the fourth. Atlanta Falcons fans, I feel you. This is embarrassing because this season wasn't just bad. It hasn't just been bad. This season has been wasted. The Falcons are now 4-9. And when we fast forward to the end of the season and go to April for the draft, the Falcons do not own their first round pick. That pick belongs to the 9-3 Los Angeles Rams. They're fighting for a playoff spot. Well, not even fighting for a playoff spot. They're going to be in the playoffs, looking like one of the best teams in the NFC. Matt Stafford is surgical with that thing, Jake. I mean, throwing touchdowns. Today, what did they score? 41 points? The Rams scored 45 points. Matt Stafford threw 3 touchdowns, 281 yards. I mean, the beast that is Puka Nacua, 7 catches for 167 yards. Here's the thing about the Falcons. They are struggling, and they don't even get the reward of struggling because the reward would have been a high draft pick, but they don't have that. What's also more painful is that the Panthers and the Bucks, who are the other 2 teams in this division outside of the Saints, have only 7 wins. This division wasn't hard to win. It wasn't out of the realm of possibility that they couldn't get the first spot. One winning month would have changed the entire outlook. One competent offensive coordinator would have put this team in the playoff race. Instead, you have fans asking, what are we building? What are we doing? And that's the real frustration because it's not just the losses, it's the absence of the answers. Raheem Morris came into the season with Drake London, Bijan Robinson, Michael Penix, and now you're down to Darnell Mooney and Kyle Pitts, a broken offensive line. This is a city that's starving for identity. It's a division that's being begged. This division is begging to be claimed. And what do you have today? A lot of questions, not a lot of answers. I mean, a couple of things you got to think about. What happens at quarterback? Michael Penix partially tore his ACL last year or a few games ago. What do you do for next year? Kirk Cousins' contract is going to be up. Do you make the trade to Cleveland? Hey, let me get Shedeur Sanders off your hands. I mean, nobody knows. I mean, what do you do with the GM Terry Fontenot? I actually had a red flag on him coming out because he came from the New Orleans Saints. I don't know about you, but getting a division rivals front office personnel guy is not on my list of things to do. I'm looking outside of my division to some different front offices to see, what can I get from them, from that particular front office, that kind of thought process to bring it to my system. And going back to the offensive identity, what do you do with Kyle Pitts? Like I said, it's just a lot of questions, not a lot of answers out there. Every week, it looks like a new personality test for the Falcons. Every week, the mood ring changes. I mean, it's just wild. The defense has a good defensive foundation. Cool, I'll give you that. James Pierce, Jalen Walker, been killing it this year. Very happy with their development. Love what they're going to be doing in the future. But there are some questions as far as scheme goes. Is this the right scheme? I don't know, man. It's a lot of flashes, but it's no identity. Got Jesse Bates out there. He's doing his thing. Xavier Watts, he's been solid this season. AJ Terrell has been AJ Terrell. But it all needs to come together. So been a lot of flashes, but no identity. The problem I see with the Falcons this year, they didn't just lose games, but it looks like they lost some clarity. Bad seasons can be meaningful if you find a quarterback, find an identity, and a defensive standard. Falcons didn't find any of that this year. Michael Penix was inconsistent, showed flashes, but that was just it, a flash. And again, like I said, that first pick is gone. So the next season isn't about rebuilding. It's about fixing what you already have, which is expensive. It can be difficult. And it forces the question, what is Raheem Morris actually building? Because right now, this feels like a bridge without a destination. And listen, I like Raheem. I haven't been a Falcons fan. Growing up, I wasn't a Falcons fan. But as of late, having a son, my father-in-law is a Cowboys fan. So I can't have my son talking about go Cowboys. I want better for my son. My son deserves better than to be associated with such a team as the Cowboys. So I said, you know what? Falcons have a black coach. It's Raheem Morris. He's been there before. I actually like Raheem. He's respected, an incredible teacher, an incredible coordinator. But as a coach, I don't know, man. Something's missing. Time management skills have been awful. Things seem to have gone down since week 3 when Ray McLeod was let go and Ike Hilliard was let go. Because I'm looking at the team now. What did that actually fix? What did that cure? The offense still has been inconsistent. I mean, but again, going back to Kevin Stefanski, leadership means being brave enough to define a direction, not just stabilize what's there. Both coaches, different scenarios, both of them have to be brave enough to define a direction. For me, I believe Raheem Morris could have changed the play calling, or play caller, I should say, but he didn't. And now we're seeing the results of that. This season for the Falcons has been extremely disappointing. And it's been 8 years of consistent losing. Let me say that again. It's been 8 consistent losing seasons. And from what I understand growing up, 8 is supposed to be new beginnings. And it's looking like the same old, same old. But here's the thing. Let me get out. But let me say this and get on out of here. In life, there's no mistakes. It's only statements. For me, being late, it wasn't an accident. It was a statement about how I value time. Kevin Stefanski's 2-point call wasn't just a bad play. It was a statement that I do not trust my quarterback to be in this moment. Atlanta's season wasn't just a losing record. It was a statement. We don't know what the hell we are doing. And in the NFL, when windows are short and careers are shorter, clarity is everything. Trust your quarterback. Trust your quarterback. Define your identity. Respect the moment. Because if you do, like my boss told me, don't come back. This has been more insight. This is insight you can trust because there's more where it came from. Make sure you like. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you tap in. Make sure you lock in, twin. I look forward to having more conversations with y'all about this kind of stuff.